In 1918, people said this was the war to end all wars. 27 years later, World War II happened. In 1945, after cities were reduced to rubble and nuclear fire changed humanity forever, the world said it again. Never again. So here's the question. If we promised never again, why are we still talking about war in 2026? Why does conflict still dominate headlines? Why, after two world wars and decades of progress, has humanity not outgrown war? What if the truth is just uncomfortable? What if war never ended, it just evolved? In 1945, something changed. The world created the United Nations, an institution designed to prevent global conflict. Countries rebuilt through economic cooperation, trade increased, globalization expanded, and then there were nuclear weapons. The atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki showed humanity something terrifying. The next global war wouldn't be destructive, it would be extinction level. So a strange balance formed. It was called MAD, mutually assured destruction. If two nuclear powers fought directly, both lose, and in a way it worked. There has not been a third world war, but here's the part we don't talk about enough. There has not been a single year since 1945 without armed conflict somewhere in the world. So maybe we didn't eliminate war. Maybe we just eliminated total war. Nuclear weapons created a paradox. They made war between superpowers too dangerous to attempt. But competition between superpowers never stopped. During the Cold War, the United States and the Soviet Union avoided direct war. Instead, they fought indirectly. Proxy wars, regional conflicts, influence battles. Smaller nations become chess pieces. The players stayed safe while the pawns paid the price. Even after the Cold War ended, the structure didn't disappear. Major powers still avoid direct confrontation, but they still compete. Regional alliances, military funding, cyber operations, economic sanctions, strategic influence. Nuclear weapons didn't eliminate war, they made it selective, they pushed it sideways. When we think of war, what do you think of, my fellow royals? You think of tanks, soldiers, dirt, battlefields, but that's not what it is. Modern conflict often doesn't look like that. Today, war can be a cyber attack shutting down a power grid, a financial sanction collapsing an economy, a disinformation campaign dividing a population, a drone strike launched from thousands of kilometers away. It can happen without formal declarations, without uniforms, without front lines. In many ways, war has become quieter, more constant. Technology has made conflict more precise, and precision makes leaders believe it can be controlled, limited, contained. But history shows us something important. Controlled conflict has a way of expanding. Here's the deeper truth. War still persists because the forces that cause it never disappear. Nations still compete for power, resources, security, influence. No country wants to feel vulnerable. No leader wants to feel weak. When one country grows stronger, another feels weaker, threatened. When resources become scarce, competition intensifies. When ideology clashes, tension rises. Peace feels stable when power feels stable. When power feels threatened, conflicts is more likely to happen. And global politics is built on power balance, not trust, not morality, balance. And we see that all the time, and we see it everywhere in each and every nations, talks, alliances, brief meetings. We don't see friendliness, mutual agreements. We see exchanges in a way. As long as system rewards strength and punishes weakness, competition will remain. And where there is intense competition, conflict follows. Also, my fellow royals, my fellow kings and queens, there's another reason it feels like war is everywhere. Your phone. A century ago, news traveled slowly. Today, conflict reaches you instantly. A strike happens thousands of kilometers away. Within minutes, it's in your pocket. Social media amplifies outrage. Algorithms reward intensity. And suddenly, the entire world feels unstable. War isn't necessarily more common in the past centuries. It's more visible. And visibility changes perception. But visibility also creates pressure. Governments act knowing they're gonna be watched. And sometimes that pressure escalates problems rather than calming them. Here's the uncomfortable conclusion. Humanity solved one version of war. We made global annihilation irrational, but we did not solve rivalry. We did not solve fear. We did not solve ambition. As long as nations exist, as long as power defines global order, as long as security depends on strength, conflict in some form will remain. Maybe not world wars, maybe not trench warfare, but economic wars, cyber wars, proxy wars, influence wars. And as the topic, competition never ended. It just adapted. So the real question isn't why is there still war? The real question is, can a world built on competition ever be permanently peaceful? Or is peace simply the pause between power shifts? Because if history has taught us anything, isn't that war doesn't begin when hatred appears. It begins when balance disappears. And right now, the global balance is shifting. The only question is, what form will the next evolution of conflict take? Hey, it's your boy Joel King, and this is my very first video. Basically, just I write something down and then I up in front of the camera. If you really like it, my fellow kings and queens, if you subscribe now, you'll officially become a king, you officially become a queen, and we are royalty, as always. Now, my fellow royals, Joel King